Hey guys, tonight we're going to talk about Lily and Jack Sullivan. Apparently, their quote unquote mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, has finally spoken. Apparently, she decided to speak with a channel by the name of A Criming Shame, which is a Canadian crime channel. To be honest with you, I don't, I don't know how they run their channel because you literally, it's, it came out as a bunch of word salad. I mean, to me, like immediately, what the words that came to my mind were, "This is a bunch of word salad." Um, but just in case you don't know who I'm talking about, Lily and Jack Sullivan went missing from their home on Garlock Road in Lansdowne Station, Pictou County, Nova Scotia, a couple months ago, and haven't been seen since. Heard from. There have been massive searches, nothing found. But from the get go, their mother made her a little initial interview to the uh, press, stating that they were sleeping in at 10:30 in the morning. Which, number one, okay, these kids are 6 and 4. Why in the world are you, as a mother, still asleep in your bed at 10:30 in the morning while your children are running around your house, running amok? Claimed that the kids, went out the sliding glass door that's so silent that they would never know it, and they've disappeared. Okay. That was the last statement that she made. Now, her live in boyfriend at the time, Daniel Martell, who is also the father of her third child, um, and I'm not going to name that child's name because, she's, a baby that need to be brought into this. She's in it enough as it is. He has made several statements to news media and whatnot about what happened. Now, his story, has kind of changed several times. So, really, in this case, you don't really know who to believe. And then you have this other creepy looking old man that has come out. Darren is one of his names, but then he has other names as well, and he has his claims. But the biggest deal with this is that these children's mother immediately that day went home to mama's house, lawyered up, and has not done a thing since. Has not spoken to the media, has not pled with any potential kidnappers, has not pled with the public, has not stood up there with a picture saying, if you see my children, please, please, please call the number on this brochure, call the um, what is it, the RCMP. None of that, never. She's never been out on a search looking for her children. Nothing, nada, nothing. Okay, since they went missing. Now though, because apparently the Jack and Lily, their biological paternal grandmother has decided to speak. Her name is Belinda, and she really has been the one that has brought to the forefront the dynamics of this family, whether they were good or bad. I mean, she had no problem with, talking about, her son's, shortcomings and things of that nature. So, like I said, she's, really come through with letting us know the dynamics of this family. Now, Malaya is an indigenous woman in Canada. She's of the Mi'kmaq tribe. Um, and there's been a lot of speculation that the kids are being hid out on the Mi'kmaq reservation. There's been just all kinds of speculations, but truth be known, no one knows where these kids are. No one knows if they're alive. And to be honest with you, it looks like their mother really doesn't care. As a matter of fact, her mother's boyfriend, she lives at her mother's home. because CPS is involved where her and Daniel's daughter is concerned. CPS is involved. So Malaya is living at her mother's home. Her mother's boyfriend has even stated that Malaya doesn't care about looking for Jack and Lily. Um, but like, as I said, she finally decided to come and speak on the, channel A Criming Shame. And basically, I mean, all you could gather out of it was that she's not sorry for not speaking. Why is that, ma'am? Why are you not sorry for not looking for your kids? Not speaking, not looking for your kids, not doing a daggone thing to help anyone find your children. Why is it that you're not sorry? Is it because you don't care? I think so. Um, but what she did though was made it about herself. Talked about how, she was just tired of the Belinda, who is the, Jack and Lily's, as I said, their paternal grandmother. She was tired of her basically disrespecting her and defaming her to the point that apparently today she called the RCMP to report that Belinda was harassing and defaming her. Of which the, RCMP responded, well, ma'am, that's a civil matter. We can't, there's nothing we can do about that. If you feel that way, then you need to, bring a civil suit against this person. But the bottom line is, the RCMP, they've stopped all searches. I mean, they're still investigating, of course, but, they've searched about all that they can search. And nobody's given them any relevant information as to what may have happened to them. If they have, they are keeping it close to vest, which could be the possibility. Um, but no one is looking for these children. And the one person that should be in the forefront of trying to find those children is their mother, Malaya Brooks Murphy. But I can tell you, she might not be looking for her kids, but buddy, she's looking for that perfect 10, hanging out at the beach with her friends, living her best life. Who does that sound like to you? Yep. Casey Anthony comes to mind. Had the same attitude. And then what did Casey Anthony also do? She started blaming family members. Oh, this person's doing this person's saying this. It turned into a crap show, you know. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just really sad that I'm sorry. What do you know what I'm sorry? What I am sorry for, Malaya? I am sorry that Jack and Lily got saddled with you as their mother. That's what I'm sorry about. Whether you know where they are and that's why you're not worried about it, or whether you just don't care, it doesn't matter. Okay? Either you have, completely just frauded that area of all kinds of resources looking for your children, even though you knew where they were, or you just don't care. You're of no use. No use. So just, Malaya, get off of YouTube. Stop sending your little messages. Stop threatening civil suits with the police department against other people, and just go back to the trailer, okay? Because if you're not going to help, then we don't need to hear from you. We don't need to see your face. Because frankly, I mean, we were doing just fine without you coming out and making it known exactly how much you don't care, since you're not sorry that you haven't spoken, and you're not sorry that you haven't looked for your children, and you're not sorry that you haven't pled for, if they've been kidnapped, you haven't pled for a kidnapper to release them and bring them home. You haven't, begged the community, please, please, look at this picture. As a matter of fact, another word that comes across is that there's not a missing persons poster up in anywhere inside the Mi'kmaq Reservation. Yeah. If you didn't want those kids, there are plenty of people who would have taken them. We don't know what you've done with them, but you know, I'm sorry. I've never seen, like I said, Casey Anthony vibes all over again. You got conflicting stories from Malaya to Daniel to even Daniel's mother, Janie, who lives on the property where the kids, disappeared from. Um, this family is too busy yelling at each other, pointing fingers at each other, trying to get under each other's nerves that they're not worried about even none of them are worried about looking for these children. None of them are worried about where these kids are, except for maybe Belinda. She's the one that's just trying to, and the information that Belinda is giving out, it is nothing that is should be it's nothing that should be considered harassment or even defamation. If it's true, it's not defamation. Okay. She just wanted to come forward and just to at least give out some information so that we would have something to go on other than you, Malaya, sitting there with your attorney in the trailer or out at the beach with your friends saying nothing because, oh, guess what, you don't have those other two kids to worry about anymore, do you? That's the way it looks, at least. Malaya, here's my advice to you, honey. If you really are worried about your name being defamed, then what you need to do is to get off your lazy ass, get out there and start looking for your children. Now, even I know, they've already searched the woods, they've searched here, they've searched there. But what you can get out there and do is you can get out there and advocate for your children. You can get out there and you can get in front of the media and you can talk to the media and you can tell the media about your children. You can tell the media what Lily's favorite food is, what Jack's favorite color is, what's their favorite cartoon that they like to watch. You can plead with anyone who may have them in their custody to please bring them home, drop them off at the nearest. I know they don't call them police stations up there, but wherever, drop them off at the nearest hospital, wherever you can. You know, plead with someone to bring your children home if they have your children, and also, get up there and hold those pictures up of your babies that you love so much and tell people, look at these pictures, look at them. Please, if you see these children or if you know anything about where these children are, please call the numbers that you see here. Do that. If you're worried about someone defaming your character, so you're worried about, the way that you look to other people, in other words, do that. Don't sit on your lazy butt inside a trailer and not talk, because it makes you look guilty. Because I can tell you right now that every mother in the world that loves their kids, that has kids that love their kids, knows that if it were their children that were missing, they would be doing that. You would not keep me from looking for my children. No one would be able to keep me from looking for them. I would be talking to anyone who stuck a microphone in my face. Okay? So you're not fooling anyone, So keep going to the beach. You're defaming your own character, Malaya. You're defaming your own character. Nobody else. You. But yeah, guys, I just found it really, really, really insulting, to be honest with you, that she would choose to go on this, Canadian-based, crime show. And like I said, I mean, you had to just sit there and listen intently to understand a word that they were saying, and they kept bouncing around from this to that to the other. It was word salad. I mean, you just really had to listen hard to get down to the bottom line. But the bottom line for me was that she's not sorry for not speaking. She wanted to make it about how, she feels, Belinda is being disrespectful to her. No, Belinda is actually trying to help find your kids, which is what you're not doing. So, yeah. Guys, this is another case. I mean, and it's in Canada. Um, you know, our unless the kids somehow end up in the United States, I mean, there's not much that we can do about that, but we still can spread awareness about it. We still can spread awareness about it, and we still can spread awareness about the fact that, again, we have missing children that it appears there could be parental involvement in their disappearance, and it appears that way, Malaya, because their parents aren't acting like parents whose children are missing. They're acting more like it's a relief. So, all right, guys. So I just want to let y'all know about how she finally spoke and what she spoke about, what she chose to speak about. It's ridiculous. And the fact that she thought she could press charges against, through the RCMP for defamation of her character, which, like I said, it's only defamation, not true. All right, guys. Well, I really hope and pray that, somehow, some way, these children are found one way or another because they don't deserve any of this. And I hope that if someone does have them, if she has given them to someone, I hope that she's given them to someone who wanted them and is taking care of them. Or if someone did pick them up. I am coming to you. Please, if you have these children, please, you know, get them back to their home. Um, you know, Other than that, I mean, I hope that there will be some resolution to this case because it's just, Jack and Lily don't deserve this. They're little children sweet, precious little children that never deserved any of this at all. So, all right, guys. I'm going to end this for tonight. I've recorded, I believe, 3 times today. So, all y'all out there, have all the fun that you can. Be safe and always know that you are loved. Love you guys. Bye.